How do you lose your fear of the narcissist? In this video, I'm going to teach you some things about narcissists that are going to show you who they really are and empower you to see yourself as a powerful being who has no need to ever be afraid of a narcissist. I'm Carol Rathel. I help people awaken. I help people tune into their inner wisdom, and I help people lead meaningful lives. I've been doing a bit of a series on healing from narcissistic abuse, and this is just a quick video to empower you. I know that narcissists can hold a lot of power over us. They're really good at blackmail, threats, taking away control that we used to have over our life and using it for their own gain. But it doesn't have to be this way. And I'm going to tell you a story about the little narcissist. It might sound like I'm telling you the story to make you feel sorry for them. I'm not doing that at all. Use your discernment. Tune into your inner wisdom as to how you want to hear this story. The main thing is I'm empowering you. Okay. So this little being got born, and it chose to be born to two particular parents. Let's call him Johnny, like the school joke Johnny. So Johnny came into the world to two young parents who were very stressed. As Johnny was a baby, he went through what all babies go through with colic from certain milk solids that we give them that they can't digest sometimes, and they have a lot of pain and griping in their guts. And so Johnny cried a lot. He couldn't sleep. He even had regurgitation and burning. And his mother didn't know really what was going on or how to handle it. And his mother got more and more tired. And then his mother started smacking him, shaking and yelling at him because he wouldn't go to sleep. And she'd just shut the door and leave him to cry. And Johnny, as he got more and more aware, he kind of started to fear this being who he had bonded with, who was his mother, who was meant to be his protector. And this protector, at just 6 months of age even, when a baby really bonds with its mother and its caregivers and there's so much love in them, little Johnny, oh, well, that was interesting. Carol had a little too much empathy for the little Johnny baby. Goodness me. At least I'm not a narcissist. Okay. Little Johnny found out the world wasn't safe. Little Johnny found out that crying wasn't going to get his needs met. So little Johnny gets older and learns other methods for getting his needs met for love. It might be being ultra nice and worming his way around his mother to get some attention or to get a cuddle. It might be being funny. There's a lot of ways that people can learn to manipulate others in order to get what they want. So little Johnny learned that he had to get his mother into a particular mood to get fed or to get a treat or to get some attention even, because we know his mother's stressed out and she's not often very loving towards this young child. And it's a really sad state of mind. The normal loving ways that babies respond, being cute and just adorable, doesn't work for him. So he really has to resort to plan B and plan C. Now what also happens is that as that Johnny gets older, he can't allow himself to feel love and connection with that caregiver because it's just going to cause him pain. So he literally not consciously, but literally shuts down all the frontal lobe of his brain. This part processes emotions. It's responsible for learning what's right and wrong. It's responsible for behaviour control. It's responsible for understanding other people's emotions. And those of us, I just did a video on an empath, being an empath, who have a very heightened awareness of other people's emotions. Well, the narcissist is the opposite. They don't know what other people are feeling, and that's because they've shut that down very much in themselves. They still feel, but they cannot allow themselves to connect with other people. And so they create a false identity that can survive in the world, and they develop all of those traits that we see in a narcissist. As the child just grows up and up and up, they become more deeply entrenched in that behaviour. So what we are seeing really is a child whose major part of himself has stopped growing. There's aspects of that child that are not being developed in the brain. A part of his psyche stops growing. And as they get older and other things happen, parts of the older child stop growing. So what we're really seeing emotionally and psychologically, we're seeing a child in an adult's body who has learnt the only way to get its needs met in the world, because it's living from a world of fear. It is terribly afraid of being abandoned because it was abandoned as a child. And a lot of their behaviour stems from that. It also wants to make sure its needs are safe, are there, it's got its security, and it will use other people and use other people's resources to get their own needs met. That's where the lies and the deceit come from. The narcissistic supply angle is just about attention and control. They've learnt that the only way to get what they want from people, even attention, whether it's positive or negative, is to control that person. We're seeing this adult acting out behaviours that it learnt as a child to get on in the adult world. And the other part of the brain that they've shut down is complete self-insight into what they're doing. So a narcissist doesn't know they're doing this, it's just normal. So what I really want to impress on you is that the narcissist is essentially a child in an adult's body. I know that they are really clever and cunning with their control, but I invite you to see not this great big monster who's got control over you. What I invite you to see is this little child inside this adult body who has got no self-confidence, no self-identity, no self-insight into what they're doing. Now, the people who are the targets of the narcissist, like me and possibly you if you're watching this, is that you're probably an empath, and so it's really important to you. You grew up wanting people to be happy around you because you couldn't stand it when they weren't. Certainly I became a goody-goody people pleaser for that very reason. We don't love ourselves because that's what we've been taught to believe. And the narcissist is very good at pretending to love. That's their great skill. And so we give our love to them. They do the withdrawing, you're no good, and you puzzle and you find out, what have I done wrong? And then you're like, please, that's not true, that's not me. And we get into giving away our power. The dynamic becomes really deeply entrenched between the victim and the narcissist. This is the powerful message I really want you to hear, is that you can stop giving away your power. Start seeing the narcissist for what they really are. I'm not going to say who, because who they are is entirely individual, but what they have become, what they have learnt to get on in this world, is a set of behaviours. They are an undeveloped child in a lot of respects. So as a visualization exercise, imagine this big tall, my hand's about my hip and still not tall enough, but imagine this adult that you're looking at. See them as this little vulnerable baby. Yes, have some empathy for them, cry for them like I did when I was telling the story, it doesn't matter. But see them as something much smaller than what they have taught your mind to believe. They're not the big scary person who can tweak you like that. We let them do that to us. Pull your power back in. I have got other videos about this, and one to cut the psychic connection, which is a really good exercise to do if you're into spiritual work. The exercise really works. A lot of the connection a narcissist has with their victims is psychic, because they suck energy, which is called narcissistic supply. Okay, so you're going to cut off that supply by healing up your energy body and saying no. Everything they're doing that you recognize as abnormal behavior, it might help to write it down in a journal to say, okay, whoops, bumped the camera. Okay, today moved my keys to make me think I'm going mad. Oh, I know that. That's called gaslighting. Okay, so they gaslit me today. Right. Well, they're not going to do that to me anymore. So tomorrow, I'm going to say to them, I know you've moved my keys. Tell me where they are. The biggest thing you can do to not be afraid of the narcissist anymore is to let them know you know, but you don't say that out loud. You don't say, hey, I know you're a narcissist, because that's going to cause all sorts of horrible drama, and if you're not ready to take that on yet, you're going to fall flat on your face, because they've had their whole life to practice being a bully. Okay? But when you know, and when you see that behaviour in them and you recognise it, and compare them to normal people in your life, you know, you already know inside it's not normal, it's not what you would do. So compare the behaviour to your loving nature, and know that it's coming from this little child that hasn't grown up, the psyche of that little child inside them. Just keep reminding yourself they are a little child. And at the same time, keep reminding yourself of your strengths. Because by golly, with all that you've been through life, to get to here, you have developed some incredible strengths, and it's time to start recognizing that. If you're not in a mental institution with tons of drugs inside you, you have got incredible strength. Start recognizing that. Start playing those strengths. Bring them in. They're your superpowers. If you're living with a narcissist, you may want to choose to get out of there and go no contact. There's a range of narcissism from mild to severe. The mild can be lived with if you know how to manage it and don't give away your power. The severe is a hell, and people they do develop complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is really freaked out condition. If they stay in the environment, the narcissist just keeps messing with their mind and makes them unwell mentally and emotionally. And golly, if you're there, get out. Call whatever resource you've got in your community, whether it's your friends or women's refuge, women's shelter, whatever country you're in. If you're a woman, do that. If you're a man, get friends that you can trust, or maybe there is a organisation that you can contact, even a church. Even if you don't go to that church, if you called a local church and said, look, I'm in a really abusive situation, I need help, I need to get out, I need somebody to help me move out, can I come and talk to you about that? Any decent, loving leader of that church will invite you to have a conversation about it. Of course they want to meet you first. They're not going to want to put their parishioners in any danger. Don't stay in that relationship and in that environment if you are being abused and you can't power up against that abuser. This whole video is about losing the fear of the narcissist. It's not about staying in a relationship with a narcissist and putting up with abuse. I just want to make that very clear. It's about reducing the size of the narcissist from a scary monster to an undeveloped child that hasn't grown up. And when you can see them as that, you can relax and let go. Just let go of the fear. Know that you're okay. So thank you for being with me today. Thank you for watching. Please get out of danger if you're in danger. And psychological abuse is dangerous. So I look forward to seeing you, and I will be waiting for you in, let's say, a self-loving video to lift the emotions and get you loving yourself. Bye for now.